Welcome back to Inherited Dawn,
a One Piece podcast.
We are here to break down chapter 1144, Giants Roar, and let me tell you, the Giants did not disappoint. Robin, we got the moment. We got the move.
A move we haven't seen in over 20 years of real-world time. The payoff for Little Garden.
It landed perfectly, and if you're the kind of person who sticks with a story for decades just to feel that kind of payoff, you should probably follow our show. We live for this stuff, and we're not stopping until we see Laugh Tale.
Let's start at the beginning, though. The chapter opens far away from the main battle.
Right, it's my man Franky finally getting to geek out. Ripley the giant takes him to this absolutely ancient facility, covered in vines, something totally out of place in Elbaph. It's got this weird, almost organic-looking metal framework. It doesn't look like anything Vegapunk would build, and it definitely doesn't look like anything that giants would build. It's alien.
And, of course, Lilith and Bonnie are already there, having gotten completely lost and stumbled upon it, which, as we know, is the most reliable form of navigation for finding ancient secrets in this world. The arc of history bends toward those with a poor sense of direction.
That's how you find the best secrets in One Piece. You just get lost. And Lilith, she takes one look at this place and her brain just starts firing. She's got that same look Stella would get. She estimates this facility has been here for 3,000 years. 3,000.
3 millennia. That puts it squarely in the time of the ancient kingdom, if not before. And Ripley supports this. She says the giants have no record of it ever being built. They have legends passed down for generations, songs about their history, and this place isn't in any of them. It was here before their stories began.
That's what gets me. It's not just old, it's forgotten history on an island of giants who live for centuries. This is technology that predates their entire civilization. My gears are turning just thinking about what kind of power source could last that long. We saw the Iron Giant on Egghead flicker to life for a few moments, and that was considered a miracle. This place, it feels like it could be humming with dormant energy. What are we talking here? Geothermal? Solar? Some kind of perpetual motion machine powered by, I don't know, dreams?
It feels like it has to be related to the energy that powered the Iron Giant. Vegapunk spent his entire life, and ultimately gave his life, in pursuit of a limitless, clean energy source inspired by that ancient power. He believed it could change the world, and Lilith, her inheritor in so many ways, might have just stumbled upon the original blueprints. It's poetic.
And she immediately claims it as her new base of operations. Classic punk. Doesn't even ask permission, just dibs. But before they can even get a good look inside, one of Killingham's little toys shows up. A floating lightning cloud with a face. It looks like a bootleg Zeus.
An MMA, a mythical monster army. This confirms the intruders are using some kind of advanced technology, not just strange devil fruits. These creatures are manufactured weapons. The name itself is fascinating. Mythical monster. It implies they are recreating creatures of legend through scientific means. A mockery of Zoan fruits, perhaps.
Which is a whole other level of terrifying. It's not one person with a weird power. It's an army of purpose-built monsters. You can mass-produce these things. It's the world government's dream, isn't it? An army that doesn't need to be fed, doesn't have morals, and can be deployed anywhere. It's the Pacifista Project on steroids, but with nightmare fuel instead of Kizaru's lasers. And while they're dealing with that one cloud, the real assault is happening in the Western Village.
A massive skeletal monster called a Draugr is laying waste to the town. Again, the naming is very specific. A Draugr is an undead creature from Norse mythology. It seems Killingham has a theme.
The giants are scrambling to fight back, but they're all half drunk from the feast. It's chaos. You can see them swinging wildly, but this Draugr thing is just relentless. It's a war of attrition, and the giants are already exhausted from partying. And to make it worse, their 2 legendary captains are nowhere to be found.
Apparently, Dorry and Brogy drank so much that they both had to run for the bathroom at the same time.
You can't write it better than that. It's so perfectly them. After 100 years of dueling, they're even in their drinking contests. They probably started a contest to see who had the stronger bladder, and it ended in a tie. It's so beautiful.
The other giants are trying to get the Straw Hats out of the line of fire, telling them to hide. It's their duty as hosts to protect their guests. It's a point of pride for them.
But Usopp, man, Usopp speaks up. He's shaking, his knees are knocking, you can see the sweat pouring down his face. He says it so quietly you can barely hear him, but he tells them they want to help. That's the Straw Hat spirit right there. You don't run when your friends are in trouble, no matter how big the enemy is.
It's a very different Usopp than the one who wanted to abandon Little Garden. Think back to that time. He was concocting elaborate lies to get Nami and Vivi to leave, convinced they stood no chance. He saw Dorry and Brogy as monsters to be escaped. Now he sees them as comrades to be defended. He's still scared, but the resolve is stronger now. The fear doesn't paralyze him anymore. It just reminds him of what's at stake.
Absolutely. He's not brave because he's not scared. He's brave because he's terrified and stands his ground anyway. That's our sniper. And you see that same fire in Cologne, Gabon's kid, who's furious they won't let him fight either. He's got that warrior spirit. Meanwhile, Nami's group finally gets to Prince Jirul and lays it all out.
She's direct, no nonsense. She understands the urgency.
And Jinbe, the old sea dog, puts the pieces together instantly. He's seen it all. He hears about people being controlled and monsters appearing out of nowhere, and his brain just goes click. He says it sounds like a devil fruit, and these monsters are probably also connected to the intruders. He's not just a helmsman, he's a brilliant strategist.
Which means the key isn't just smashing the monsters. That's what the giants are trying to do, and it's not working perfectly because the monsters are proving to be too much for them. The key is finding the user, a classic one-piece battlefield dilemma. You must find the heart of the problem.
Jirul immediately orders a countrywide search for any non-Straw Hat humans, and when Brook notes there could be more than the two they saw, Jirul makes sure the warning says to look for at least 2 intruders. He's a good leader. He listens, assesses, and acts.
But he still tells our crew to hide. It's the giants' fight. Their pride is on the line. And I get it, but Jinbe makes the perfect point.
He does. The giants are powerful, but they're huge targets. They're titans, meant for battles of a colossal scale. Against small, human-sized devil fruit users who might be hiding in the chaos, they're at a disadvantage. It's like trying to catch a mouse with a battleship. The Straw Hats, he argues, are uniquely equipped to handle them, a surgical strike versus a blunt instrument.
They just need a ride. And who do they see? Captain Cologne, dragging a bag of weapons to his little ship, ready to defy orders and be a warrior. The kid is a legend already. He's not just going to sit back and let the adults handle it. He's got that Gabon blood in him.
Nami, Usopp, Jinbe, and Brook see their chance. They don't try to stop him. They offer to join him. It's a wonderful moment of mutual respect. They see his warrior spirit and choose to nurture it, not suppress it. On one condition. He gets to be the captain. I love it. I absolutely love it. The Straw Hat Pirates, a former warlord, the Soul King, a master navigator, and a legendary sniper are temporarily serving under the command of Captain Colin of Elbaph. This is the kind of adventure that makes this crew the best. There's no ego. It's just, you got a boat and the will to fight? Great, you're in charge. Let's go save our friends.
From there, we cut to the intruders themselves, the Knights of God.
And the vibe is just unsettling, chilling. They hear the announcement that they've been spotted, that the entire country is now hunting for them, and they could not care less. The arrogance is just pouring off them. It's not the loud, boisterous arrogance of a pirate. It's the quiet, confident arrogance of someone who believes they are so far above everyone else that they literally cannot be touched.
We get a very telling character moment. Sommers points out that Gunko is listening to music, calling it her post-meal ritual. The word choice is so clinical, so detached, as if observing a specimen in a lab.
She gets all defensive, saying she just enjoys it, and Sommers, this absolute creep, starts talking about how he prefers live music, so he can shoot the performer if they mess up. He says it with a smile, a genuine, pleasant smile. That's what makes it so terrifying. It's not a threat. It's a statement of fact about his preferences, like saying you prefer coffee over tea.
It's played as a joke, but it tells you everything about his personality and the culture of the celestial dragons. Life, art, music, it's all disposable entertainment for them. Then he asks what she's listening to, and the answer is New World.
Brook's song, the Soul King's greatest hit, a member of the Celestial Dragon's personal guard, the secret police of the gods, one of the most evil organizations in the world, is a fan of a Straw Hat pirate. You can't make this up. It's a perfect Oda detail. The world is so much bigger and stranger than any one ideology.
The irony is staggering. A song that became an anthem of hope and reunion for pirates and dreamers after the time skip, a symbol of pushing forward into a new era, is being listened to by someone actively trying to enforce the old, stagnant world order. And Sommers, who's clearly the ideological enforcer of the group, immediately picks up on it. He asks if she's dissatisfied with the current world. That's not a light-hearted question.
No, coming from him, that's a threat. That's an accusation of treason. It's the kind of question an inquisitor asks right before the torture begins. You can see Gunko tense up, but Killingham, the big guy, the scientist, actually tells him to back off and not make fun of people's hobbies.
It's a strange moment of decorum, or perhaps pragmatism. Killingham might see internal strife as inefficient. He seems more focused on the mission's parameters than on ideological purity. It doesn't change the fact that they're having this casual, menacing chat, while just outside, children are being marched towards a fire. Their detachment is what makes them so monstrous. They aren't cackling villains, they are bureaucrats of evil.
Speaking of the kids, the scene with Saul is just heartbreaking. He's trying so hard to save them. The power controlling them seems to be some kind of thorn-based ability. Every child is covered in these awful-looking black thorns.
He's equipped himself with 2 massive shields, maybe just thick steel ones, to protect himself from the thorns as he tries to stop them. He's being careful. He's thinking.
He manages to grab one kid, a little girl, but the momentum of the line causes the one behind to bump into her. The thorns on the first kid pierce the second. The power makes them a danger to each other. So his act of saving one directly causes another to be injured. It's a horrifically cruel power. It weaponizes empathy. The more you want to save them, the more you are forced to harm them. You could see the sheer disgust on my face. This is not just a powerful ability. It's a psychologically torturous one. It's designed to break the spirit of the rescuer.
You can see the horror on Saul's face. He just hurt the very children he's trying to save. His greatest strength, his size and power, is a liability here. He's a sledgehammer in a situation that requires tweezers.
It was awful, and I told him we have to find the source, the user. It's the same logic Jinbe had. But Saul is panicking. He says if they do nothing, the children will walk right into the flames. He's caught in an impossible situation, a classic trolley problem designed by a sadist. Save one and hurt another, or do nothing and let them all perish. There's no good answer. He tries a new tactic, using a rope to lasso one from behind, trying to pull them out of the line without touching them directly. It's smart, but as soon as he does, another one of the MMAs, a giant wolf called a Fenrir, another Norse myth, appears out of nowhere to attack him.
He realizes the monsters aren't just for destruction, they're guards. Their purpose is to stop anyone from interfering with the children. The children are the bait, and the monsters are the hook.
It's a trap with layers. You try to save the kids, you hurt them. You try to save them from a distance, giant monsters attack you. The whole situation is designed to cause despair, to make a hero feel utterly helpless. It's evil genius, and it feels like it came right out of the mind of a celestial dragon.
And just when that despair is at its peak, as Saul is being overwhelmed, we cut back to the western village.
The giants managed to take down the Drauerg, the big skeleton, but they're beat up. It took a lot out of them, and before they can even catch their breath, 2 more monsters appear. A Needhogger, a serpent that gnaws at the roots of the world tree in mythology, and something called a ghost. The warriors are forced to retreat. It looks like it's over. The village is going to fall.
And then we hear it, a sound that cuts through the chaos, the laughter.
Gaba gaba gaba, K ha 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 ha. Bro, the chills, the absolute full body chills. I don't care how many times I read it, that laughter is the sound of hope. It's the sound of the tide turning. It's the sound of two absolute legends who are done with their bathroom break and are ready to get to work. Dorry and Brogy are back.
They apologize for being late. They stand amidst the wreckage of their own village, looking at the terrified faces of their people, and their first thought is to apologize for their tardiness.
And the reason? They say they were busy throwing up all the booze they drank to sober up. It's the most Elbaph thing I've ever heard. They didn't just wait to sober up. No, that would take too long. They forced the issue in the most direct way possible. And now they're mad. Not just because their village is being attacked, but because they wasted all that good alcohol. That's the real crime here. And they are ready for payback.
They stand back to back, just as they did 100 years ago in their prime. They raise their weapons, sword and axe, to the sky. The energy crackles around them. You can feel the sheer force of their will.
Hakoku, sovereignty. The same devastating combo attack they used to carve a hole in the Island Eater back in Little Garden. That move that absolutely blew our minds as kids. I remember seeing that for the first time, Robin. The sheer scale of it. We had never seen anything like it. It was a power that could reshape the very landscape. And here it is again. It obliterates both MMAs and a third one that was just showing up for good measure in a single super blast.
The raw power is just as overwhelming as it was 1,000 chapters ago. It's a beautiful moment. It's a visual representation of their bond. Two rivals, two friends, their strength perfectly synchronized to create something far greater than the sum of their parts. The name itself, sovereignty, is a declaration. It's them saying, this is our land, we are its kings, and you are not welcome here. It's a physical manifestation of their right to rule and protect their home.
And that's not even the final reveal. The smoke clears, and who is standing with them? The rest of the giant warrior pirates, and Scopper Gabon.
The former left hand of the Pirate King, the copper to Rayleigh's silver and Roger's gold, standing alongside the legendary giant crew. The cavalry has well and truly arrived. He looks older, of course, but he has that same look in his eye. He's ready for a fight. The Roger pirates are slowly re-entering the world stage. First Rayleigh, now Gabon. The old era is not as gone as the world government would like to believe.
What a chapter, just packed from start to finish with plot, character, and pure, unadulterated hype. My heart is still pounding. This isn't just an attack on Elbaph anymore, this is a convergence of legends.
It sets up the battlefield for the next stage of this war perfectly. We have multiple fronts, each with its own unique set of heroes and villains. Science versus history, giants versus manufactured monsters, and the will of the old era versus the tyranny of the new.
Alright, before we get into what's next, if you've got a theory about who Gabon is going to throw down with, let us know in the comments, and drop a like if that Hakoku gave you chills. Now, let's talk predictions for chapter 1145. Robin, you first.
My first prediction is about the facility. Franky and Lilith will get inside, and they won't just find old tech. They'll find a poneglyph, or more likely, a set of instructions or historical record written in the same ancient language. It will explain what the facility was for, confirming its connection to the ancient kingdom. I believe it will reveal the secret of the ancient power source Vegapunk was seeking, perhaps even explaining why it failed or was shut down 900 years ago. It will be a lore drop that reframes everything we know about the Void Century's technology.
Ooh, I love a good lore drop. Okay, my turn. My first prediction is that we're going to see the Straw Hats in action with Captain Colin. They're going to find one of the Knights of God, and I think it's going to be Gunko. She's going to be the one controlling the children with a sound or music-based devil fruit, which is why she's always listening to music, to either control the frequency or to drown out the sounds of the children's suffering. Usopp, with his perfect pitch and incredible hearing, is going to be the one to figure out how to counter it. It'll be his big Elbaph hero moment, using his wits and skills, not just brute force.
That would be a fantastic moment for him, connecting back to his dream of being a brave warrior of the sea. My second prediction, the Shanks lookalike, the one Nami saw, will finally make his move. He's been in the background, but his presence is too significant to be a coincidence. I believe he is the real commander of this operation. He will ignore the giants and make a direct move on me, seeking to capture the woman who can read the poneglyphs. But he won't get to me easily. Saul and Gabon will intercept him, leading to a confrontation between three people who carry immense history with them. A survivor of O'Hara, a member of the Roger Pirates, and a man who wears the face of a Yonko. It will be a clash of legacies. I can see it. That is super heavy. Okay, my final prediction is for Dorry and Brogy. They're not going to fight the small fry. Killingham, the scientist, is going to see his precious MMAs getting destroyed and decide to take matters into his own hands. He's a giant of a man himself. He's going to reveal his own power. I think he's a mythical Zoan himself, maybe a Jotun or some other creature from Norse myth that fits his theme, and we're going to get a 2-on-1 giant captain brawl against the lead scientist of the Knights of God. It'll be old-school warrior pride versus new-age bioweaponry.
A battle of legends versus new age science. It fits the themes of Elbaph and Egghead colliding perfectly. The past and the future fighting to determine the fate of the present.
We will see what Oda has in store for us next week. Man, I can't wait.
This has been another super episode of Inherited Dawn.
Thank you for listening. We will see you when the next chapter drops.